Okay, we'll get started. Okay, welcome. This is our panelist for tonight. Our topic is cold to hot, lead generation strategies for your business. So we're going to be focusing on different ways that you can actually generate leads into your business. We're going to be looking at online, different advertising mediums, but then we're also going to take a look at, okay, you've got the leads now, but how do you actually convert them to clients? So I'd like to welcome back Wendy Berry from Top Gun Sales Academy, who you would have seen a couple of months ago. We have Chris Hewson from Child's Play Marketing and Tina Robertson-Christie from Ascends Australia. So a big round of applause for these guys. Okay. Now we'll start with you, Wendy. Get a bit excited now. Now I've got to confess, you're actually my sales coach.
And you're fantastic.
Thank you.
He does everything I tell him.
Because I have to, I'm scared of her. Tell us a bit about what you do in terms of Top Gun Sales Academy.
As far as the business?
Yep.
Top Gun Business Academy's purpose is to help people reach their potential from a sales and sales management perspective, so that in our trainings, both in-house and online, we build people's response potential, give them motivation. Our training is exciting and fun and inspirational, but then it's a matter of giving people the skills so they can go out in a very practical way and use those. So how many of you have been to a training where your body's been in the room but your brain's been somewhere else? Well, ours aren't like that. Ours are very interactive, and so that we've been running Top Gun Business Academy now for 17 years, dealing with people from your individuals up to your large corporates and everything in between. So it's a matter of getting people to sell more, increasing their conversions, their prospecting skills, their relationship skills.
Fantastic. And we'll pass it over to Chris. Chris, tell us a bit about your background, because I hear you've worked with companies like BMW, Ford and Kodak.
I have. Excuse my voice, by the way, guys. I'm struggling a bit under the weather. But I come from about 15 years in the advertising industry. Excuse me, working on BMW, a lot of the car accounts.
Yep.
Worked on the Urban Land Corporation, Kodak, you name it, I've sort of worked on it. I then went from there to academia, where I lectured for about 5 years at RMIT on advertising and creativity. And I've just joined Shoestring Marketing.
Yep.
And Child's Play Marketing is an offshoot of Shoestring Marketing.
So what's Child's Play Marketing?
We pretty much go into businesses and talk to them about creativity, innovation, how you can become more fluid and flexible within the workplace without doing backflips.
Okay,
Yes.
fantastic. And we'll pass over to Tina. Tina, tell us a bit about your background, what you do with Ascends.
Okay, we specialise in online direct marketing. So we do anything associated with online, from viral campaigns through to creation of websites and e-marketing. I think probably the main thing is that most people have a website today, but are struggling with conversion rates in terms of actually getting the website to create leads for their business. So we focus on that particular area in terms of lead generation and increasing transaction count from existing customers.
Fantastic. Now we'll start with you. Tell us a bit about the different lead generational tactics that we can apply through our website, for example.
Oh, there's quite a few to choose from. I'll give you a few because I think that's what you want everyone to know, that there are a variety that can be used, but I just want to preface that and say that the most effective lead generation strategies and the most effective opt-in strategies are ones that appeal to your target markets, and more so today your target customer segments. So that has an implication in terms of the type of technology you use, the way that your website is presented, and so on and so forth. So you may have multiple opt-ins, is the point, and multiple landing points on your website to cater to particular customer segments. So in terms of specific opt-in strategies, Let's see, if we started off with a traditional retail type operation, the things that seem to work very well there are loyalty programs, obviously offers and discounts, something that people can take advantage of now. Web surfers are very immediate, so I come to your site, I want to know that I'm in the right place immediately, and the next thing I want to know is what's in it for me.
So we've only got a few seconds to grab their attention.
Absolutely, and most people have invested quite a lot of money into their websites, and also probably traditional offline media to draw people to the website. So by all means, you want to put your best foot forward and make sure that your offer is compelling enough for people to actually leave their details or to take the next action.
And how do we actually get them to take that next action?
Right, okay, back to the opt-in strategies.
Yep.
All right, so for retail, we've talked about discounts and so on and so forth. If we look at information type products and services, then those are what is valuable, and that is what people are coming to find. We know that 85% of the people that land on your website are actually looking for the type of product or service you offer. So if you have an offer which is based around something of value that they can take away right now, then that is what is perceived as a fair exchange to give my details to you.
So are we looking at a free ebook, free audio program?
Free ebook, free audio programs, anything of value that they can take away and access right now in exchange for their details. It could be offers, incentives, go into a drawer. To give you an example, we've got a company who's a plastics manufacturer. And you think to yourself, my God, what sort of opt-in would you have for them? That would be compelling, enticing, and free 10 plastic bushes to run my machine. No. Anyway, so that's where understanding your target market comes in so critically, because we understand that with this particular company, their target market is production managers. They're typically 45 years of age through to 55 years of age. They're typically Australian. They're typically family-orientated people. So what goes down well with that kind of genre of person? We can make bold assumptions here, and we do.
Be careful. Be very careful.
Is beer, wine, and barbecues. So we ran a promotion of a 4-burner down under Australian-made barbecue for this particular campaign. The website paid for itself in 48 hours. Fantastic. And, the open rates and conversion rates for this particular company are increasing because they've built a level of trust already with their target market. And secondly, the level of market penetration that they've actually achieved as a result of this particular strategy has worked fantastically well. And in terms of the offline media, they're actually now able to use their offline traditional media, which is very expensive, and to drive people to the site where they take up an offer on the site. So now they can actually test, for example, how well and how far the direct mail piece or the traditional mail piece has worked for them.
So I assume they're using a promotional code that they have to enter in so they can track it?
In this particular case, no. It's, okay. Look, we're giving away these free X, Y and Zs, but you have to go to the website and actually log in to get it. And we'll give it to anyone and sundry, but we want your details. And that's worked exceptionally well. I mean, did the industry standard for open rate of emails is about 22%, and the click-through rate is about 4%. Those are the industry benchmarks. Well, he's got open rates of 42% and click-through rates of 25%. So that is very significant when you're talking about, a captured audience and you compare that to the results that you may get in offline media.
Yep. And in terms of the different lead channels coming into the website, are we looking at Google AdWords and SEO? What are we looking at?
Search engine optimization is absolutely critical to lead generation, and I'm going to preface Chris's part, because what's happening, I think, is people are starting to understand the place of the web and the place of traditional offline media. The web is best used as a direct marketing vehicle, and you still require offline traditional media in order to capture people's attention often, unless you have a large database already that you can leverage with referral campaigns and so on and so forth. Yep. So we know, for example, return on investment through email campaigns on average is around about 7%, and traditional media, that's, you're lucky if you can get 2%. But we know if we combine DMs, direct mail, with an email campaign or a web campaign, that response rate then gets pushed up to 14%. Fantastic. So combining the media and doing that in a very smart way, you can get significantly augmented results.
Fantastic. I'll pass it over to you, Chris. Yeah. No, I was talking to you before, and you were mentioning that there are some different trends happening in terms of the advertising.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's funnily enough, I was just talking to Tina before that I've only just left the world of academia a few months ago, and I have spent the last 5 years hanging out with 18-year-olds, so which has been quite an interesting experience. And in one way, it's very nice to get back in the normal world again. But at the same time, it's also interesting. Tina was just talking to me before, saying that a client of hers was fairly apprehensive in using the web. And I was like, right on, but I've just come from thousands of 18-year-olds, so that's all they want to use. Yep. They actually literally don't even look at print or press or TVC or outdoor anymore. They literally, even if you gave them a brief to work on a TVC or a print ad, they would literally say, pretty please, can we do something online, or can we run something through YouTube or something like that? So it's sort of quite a surprise to actually remember that outside of that world, that a lot of people are still a little apprehensive about it. But mark my words, guys, there's definitely a new generation of people coming up that's actually all they're looking at. And a lot of them are very much influencing it and coming up with a lot of concepts. And a lot of the concepts they're coming up with are actually quite amazing. And when you look at the ideas, you're like, I wish I had a thought of that.
Yeah. You're an 18-year-old kid, damn you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm a bit jealous of some of them. But, but no, look, it's absolutely amazing. And it's not only the web and online. There's a lot of things. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, called ambient advertising. Has anyone heard of that out there? Okay. I'll give you a really quick, brief example of it. Ambient advertising is what they call non-traditional media. It actually came about 3, 4, 5 years ago when marketing budgets started to, tighten up a little bit. There was a lot of fragmentation within the media, a lot of competition out there in the marketplace. Obviously, we're inundated with 1,000 different media options these days. So basically, ambient media came about as a reaction against that. And what it is, it's basically what they call non-traditional media. So it's anything that's not billboard or print or press or things like that. But a really quick example was something done a couple of years ago, and Channel 7 actually went to an ambient media house and actually said, look, traditionally we put a bottom corner black and white ad in for our 8:30 Channel 7 commercial that we'd normally put on. They probably spent about $15,000, which has suited them well in the past. Yep. But they thought, okay, we'll have a change. We'll see if we can come up with something different. So they went to the ambient agency and they were actually promoting the film Scream, which for those of you who don't know is that blood, gore, fest thing where everyone gets killed and there's lots of blood and everything like that. So
it's great if you love horror.
Absolutely. But what they did, they went to the agency and said, OK, we want you to come up with something non-traditional, something that stands out in the marketplace. So they decided to go down to the old art gallery on St Kilda Road, and where all the fountains are, where all the water comes up, they actually put blood pellets in the water. Okay. And when they put it there, it looked as though blood was sort of, churning and gushing out all over the place. And they spray painted Scream, Channel 7, 8:30, whatever. Channel 7 was down there, the news people were down there, everybody in Burke Street was talking about it. Now, that cost about $1,000. Well, yeah, that's the other part about ambient. You've got to get on board with the councils as well. But that cost about $1,000. Apparently, the recall was 4 to 5 times better than what it had been when they'd spent $15,000. Now, I could bore you senselessly with thousands of examples of ambient advertising, but there's just one that comes to top of mind.
Do you have any examples in terms of service industries?
There are ones that have been done for service industries. I'm thinking of one that was done in England a couple of years ago for... It wasn't so much a service industry, but it was more retail based in that it was done for a company that dealt with car insurance.
Okay.
And they were doing a sort of cross-promotional activity with a company that was like a brakes company for cars.
Yep.
And what they did, they actually got a corner area, I think it was in Piccadilly Circus or Fair, whatever it's called in England, and they actually mangled a little bit part of the fence and then actually put up a sign and said, if you'd come to us and had your brakes fixed, this wouldn't have happened. So sure. That's another example of ambient advertising. But there's a lot of other things out there too. There's viral marketing, guerrilla marketing. That's where they're employing people to actually go into bars, like good-looking girls, good-looking guys, where they'll actually sit next to somebody and say, have you tried this drink?
Yep.
And all of a sudden they start talking. Now, a lot of this may seem quite underhanded, but...
I believe Today Tonight and Current Affair have thoroughly reported that.
Absolutely, but...
They've got nothing else to cover, I think, these days.
Absolutely, but a lot of this stuff is working.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff is extremely effective on return on investment, but also a lot of it's really cheap.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but I think a double-page spread in the ad is $175,000.
Okay, wow.
And the recall could be 2-3%.
Yep.
If you're lucky.
lucky.
Or, yeah, exactly. Or you can spend a couple of grand and do something that's ambient, that's viral, that top and tails with something that's online.
Yep.
Some direct mail to follow that up, and all of a sudden potentially you have something that's successful. I mean, obviously the target market you were talking about before has to be appropriate for the particular client.
In terms of the ambient marketing, because I guess, does anyone here actually do trade shows or exhibitions? One person? A couple of you? Yep. Is that something that we could possibly utilise at a trade show?
Absolutely, yeah. Funnily enough, I used to talk to most students and a lot of them would say, what exactly is ambient?